Okay, thank you very much. You will all no doubt have seen on the news or heard in the news, read in the press about people not saving enough for their pension, and I'm sure that probably includes a lot of the people in this room as well, so this is important for everybody. And while you might discount a lot of the stories that you read in the press, this is one that is absolutely true. People are not saving nearly enough for their pension, and in the next 20 to 30 years, if we don't address and redress this problem, there will be a savings crisis. People will not be able to afford to retire. So this is a really, really important issue. And that's the case study that I'm going to talk about today with Paul, is about how ScottishPower has gone about addressing this issue. But I thought, before I do that, I'll start off by telling you a little bit about ScottishPower, about our businesses, our workforce, our pensions set up, and our defined contribution pension scheme. So ScottishPower is part of the Iberdrola Group, a global company. It's headquartered in Spain, but we have holdings in the UK, the US, Spain, Mexico and Brazil. So a real multinational global company. In the UK, we have 6,500 employees who work for our 4 businesses. Our 4 businesses are energy networks, so we have about 3.5 million customers that we supply energy to through power lines and cables that we, ScottishPower, own, but other companies, including our competitors, use to provide electricity and gas to customers. ScottishPower Generation, which the clue is in the name, we do have generation capabilities through coal, through hydroelectric, and we provide energy to other companies. I think the company that's best known, I would say, would be our retail business. We provide gas and electricity to about 5 million customers, which is households and businesses. And as the slide here, if I can just get it to work a bit, as the slide here suggests, a big part of our business now is in renewables. So we have 31 wind farms in the UK that provide energy to households. So with all of those businesses, we have a really diverse workforce. They have different levels of expertise, they have different levels of pensions knowledge, and they have to be communicated with in a different way. We have 2 defined benefit pension schemes, closed to new entrants but open to future accrual. We have about 3,500 of our employees who are covered by these benefit schemes. They have assets of over £4.5 billion. The company pays £100 million a year into them, and the ongoing future service cost to the company of providing these benefits is over 40% of salary for every member. We also have, so you can imagine that gets a lot of focus in our company. We also have our stakeholder plans, so for new employees coming after 2006, they go into our defined benefit, or defined contribution pension scheme rather, so a group personal pension scheme, which is a very, very good scheme. Member contributions are either 3%, 4% or 5% of salary. They're double matched 6%, 8% and 10% of salary by the employer. So a really upper quartile pension scheme, but never as good as a defined benefit pension scheme. We've got 2,600 employees in that scheme, and we've got 86 million in assets for that scheme. So what's my objective for the stakeholder pension plan? Pensions is a really emotive subject in our company, and I'm sure it probably is in a lot of yours as well. We've got one group of employees who have these defined benefit gold-plated pension arrangements, and short of a disaster, they are all going to retire on a good income. We then have the stakeholder plan, which is growing. It's going to exceed the defined benefit schemes in membership terms very soon. But people do not know and understand how much they have to pay into that scheme to get a good income in retirement. It sounds simple, it is anything but simple. And my objective is to ensure that for every person who is in the stakeholder scheme, that they understand exactly what they've got to pay in and that they know they're going to get a good income in retirement. And that's one of the things that I've been working with Hymans Robertson on, to build a system which is really, really easy for members to use, no pensions jargon, that they can use to make sure they're saving the correct amount of money. Oh, sorry.
That's right. Thanks, Anne. So I'll just do a minute or two on guided outcomes to put the rest of Anne's session into context. So, headlines like 3 out of 4 DC members will not have a comfortable retirement. That won't come as a surprise to anybody in this room. But recognising there's a problem is very different to understanding how the problem manifests itself in your business and what the implications are and what you can do about it. And that's what guided outcomes seeks to address through 2 ways. Number 1, by giving you the data insight that you can actually understand those problems. I really enjoyed Rasmus's session this morning, apart from the fact that that season Newcastle United thrashed my team 5-1 when they were doing as badly as he described. But the underlying issues within that weren't apparent from what you see on the surface. And getting a good understanding of the data of your pension schemes sounds really straightforward, sounds something which you can do really easily. But it's not, and the reason it tends not to be is because no one in this room has got a uniform workforce, for sure. Most of the businesses in this room don't have a sort of uniform history. There's a lot of heritage and legacy stuff that has gone on in the business in the past, mergers and acquisitions, those sorts of things. And there tends not to be a uniform design or uniform communications previously. And all of that history affects the actual current landscape that you see in the pages that you see. So the first thing guided outcomes does is look to provide insight into that to enable you to make better decisions. And then the second bit is the part that Anne referred to of actually creating the technology to personalise the solution for members to drive the change that you need. So just 1 minute on describing how it does that. The way guided outcomes works is sets each person their own pension target, and that's a proportion of their working income. So if I'm earning £20,000 while I'm employed, I might need a proportion of that, £15,000 in retirement to live on. Once you've got a target for that person, you can then analyse, are they on track? There's a lot of personal data which you do hold and you are allowed to use, just coming on from some of the conversations that have been had in previous sessions. How much they're paying, what their investments are, how old they are, when their retirement age is. And from that you can do the second bit, look to see are they on track, and that then gives you a framework to also communicate around. Then the third part that you can do is then push a personalised message to that person, using all the modelling to not just give them the problem of you're off track, but say, and this is what you need to do to get back on track and how you can help them. And through all the work that we did around designing guided outcomes and through all the people we spoke to, that was the most important thing. And it pretty much universally showed that people do really care about their pensions, they are worried about their retirement incomes. Yes, pensions can be a turn-off, the term can be a turn-off, but absolutely it was important to people. But the problem was it was too difficult. And they didn't want loads more modelling tools and loads more guides, they just wanted a solution. And that's what guided outcomes looks to do, to actually help people by pushing the answer out to them rather than just asking them loads of different questions and things to do.
Okay. So taking a step back from the solution, first of all, ScottishPower wanted to know if the problem that we perceived we had with our stakeholder plan members was as bad as we thought. So we worked with Hymans, we gave them all the data for our employees' salaries, pension contributions, employer contribution rates. We got the investment manager to give data for people's fund values and the investment funds that they were putting their money into. And this is the actual data that came out of the system at first. So using the very simple and easily recognisable red, amber, green, what you can see from that is that over 700 employees had a less than 20% chance of getting their target retirement income. The next group 20 to 40% chance, not much better. Amber, 40 to 60%, and the green ones had a likely or very likely chance of getting their target retirement pension. But I have to say that I was initially quite dismayed when I saw this, because I didn't expect it to be good. But in actual terms, what it meant was that fewer than 20% of the stakeholder plan members were on target to have a decent income in retirement, which by definition means that more than 80% were not on target, and they had a real issue that they had to tackle and address. Now, as an organisation, we were a bit nervous about that, because if we give that bad news story to employees, we were very concerned about how they would react to that. So there was a lot of positioning to be done with the executive board, the trade unions, and member consultation groups before we went live with this. But we also did further analysis. Once you've got the data, you can slice and dice it any way you want. So you've got the results by member contribution level, you've got the results by member salary band. But I have to say, whatever way you cut and dice this, there's way too much red on these graphs, and that was what we had to address. So these results were really what gave us the push to say we have to do something for employees. We cannot avoid this any longer. And therefore we agreed, we worked with Paul and the team, and the Guided Outcomes website was built. Behind the scenes, I would say it's very, very complicated. Some very clever guys built the website for us. But the important thing for me was that it had to be the simplest and easiest website our employees had. People don't understand pensions. They don't even really want to understand pensions, but they do want a decent income in retirement, as Paul said. So come October, November 2015, we started a communications plan, which took all in all about 6 weeks. We wanted to keep the momentum going. We did final briefings to the executive board, the unions and the managers to say, your employees are about to get a really bad news story. We worked with Hymans to develop and deliver a brand new communications package, which was something our employees hadn't seen. It was tailored to ScottishPower. You could see it was a ScottishPower communication, but it was brand new, it was younger, it was fresher, far more engaging. And then what we did was, using this branding, and I know you can't see the numbers, and the numbers aren't really important for this purpose, but the branding being the light bulb, the meter, and all of the branding at the bottom. You've got the mobile phone getting charged. Really what we're saying to young people is, this is about you. We want people to recognise this is about them. So what we did was we sent out a communications pack to everybody's home address. It had their guided outcomes assessment. So it told them what their target retirement income was that they needed, and the likelihood of meeting that target. So that's again the red, amber, green. It's as simple as that, your red, amber, green. Told them also about guided outcomes and about their salary and their current contributions. And it told them that within the week they could log on to the website to see what they would have to do to get a good income in retirement. We also used this as an opportunity to write out to 600 employees who were not in our stakeholder plan to try and get them to engage and join the plan, and that was very successful. The Guided Outcomes website is as simple as this. So basically, somebody logs on and it says, your potential retirement income is 6,200, your target income is that, and you're unlikely to get it. I was a bearer of bad news for a long time, I can tell you. So, however, give them the problem, give them the solution. So all they had to do then was to literally click on that to view the guided outcomes approach, okay? So that was the bad news. They go in and it shows them again that they're unlikely to get their target pension, okay? The guided outcomes approach says to them, well, if you are prepared to pay 5% of salary instead of 3% and push your retirement age out a year, you'll have a likely chance of getting that income in retirement. It is as simple as that. And if you want to do that, you click on that. It's 3 clicks and you're done. It is as simple as that. It goes automatically through to payroll, an automatic confirmation to the member. It literally is as simple as that, one-stop shopping. In the interest of time, I won't cover that slide with you, but I think what is important to see is that this was received very, very well by all of the employees, not just young employees, but employees at all ages. And everybody said, I didn't realise I had to pay more. And rather than being upset by getting the bad news, basically they were saying to me, I wish somebody had told us this earlier so we could have done something about it. We had terrific results in the first month, so a third of the members logged on straight away. We have had nothing but positive feedback about this. You would think with such bad news people would be wailing about it, but that just is not true. In the first month, we had more than 10% of employees increase their pension contributions. So this whole thing about people don't want to save for retirement, I just do not buy it. It's not true. We've been going for a year now. We've got over 20% of members who have used guided outcomes are paying more into their pensions. On average, they're increasing their contributions by 5%, but there are some employees, about 10% of those that do increase their contributions are more than doubling their contributions. And that might seem, wow, why would somebody do that? But people just want to know, how much do I have to pay? And when you tell them, they're prepared to do it. Paul, do you want to do a bit on future?
Yeah, so just to finish up, what's going to happen next? Though now this framework is in place, then you've got a method of actually communicating with people and pushing the right information. Back to Anne's point about not everyone wants to be experts and learn about everything. We've now broadened that, so if you're in the run-up to retirement, sort of 55 to 65, there are some much more specific messages. The first thing was we just need to get people saving more, most important thing. Now with all the retirement flexibilities, if you're getting closer to retirement, it is more important to start thinking about how you're taking your benefit. So that's one of the things that we're also doing within guided outcomes. Again, if you're a high earner, you've got tax information, you've got all that information to be able to target the right communications at people. And then the next bit is just broadening it out into thinking about other savings options that people might take, lifetime ISAs, share plans, those sorts of things, as those markets develop in future years in workplace savings. But that will go at the pace that markets develop, and more importantly, employers actually demand those solutions and employees start using them. So that's the evolution part at the moment.
Just one other thing on targeting members. We did, using the data, we targeted 900 members who were losing out on 4% employer contributions. Within a week, out of the 900, 160 had signed up to increase their contributions to get more employer contributions. It's a really simple, powerful tool.
That's right. Many thanks indeed. That was fantastic. Really, really interesting case study.